if you were dreaming up a best case scenario for Toronto, I don't know if you could have gone this high. A fantastic weekend for the Blue Jays has them one win away from the American League Championship Series. How? Let's talk about it. Not a huge breakdown. I just want to talk about it because it's fun. The Toronto Blue Jays are up 2-0 on the New York Yankees. Holy smokes. And it's not just the wins, right? It's not it's not the what, it's the how. It has been dominance from the Blue Jays throughout this whole series. Yes, the Yankees got a couple things rolling against the fill-in guys in the bullpen. I'm not going to read too much into that. I get like it's it's frustrating at times, watching the panels with like A-Rod and Jeter, and it's like, well, I mean, maybe they got the momentum. Hey, if Fried hadn't blah 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 blah. The Blue Jays scored 12 runs before the Yankees got a hit. So you can momentum this, maybe that, all you want. The 12 runs to no hits ratio feels like an ass kicking. Just from me, my standpoint, never played Major League Baseball, but have watched it for a really long time. You can't see all the grays here, but there's some. I'm watching this for a while. 12 runs to 0 hits feels like you're getting your ass beat. So I, for one, am not going to read too much into the momentum part of that for New York going into this series. Like, this has just been incredible from the Blue Jays. You could not have drawn this up any better for Toronto. When you have game 1, Kevin Gausman, and you're worried about it after game 162 when he wasn't effective, and the Jays were still able to outslug the problems that they had early in that ball game, he came out and was darn near unhittable and got himself into some trouble, was able to get out of it with Judge, and then Varland comes in and just the absolute turns into the kid from Rookie in the Year, or there's something in his elbow, throws the second hardest pitch he's thrown in his life, and he blows it by Giancarlo Stanton, and then the bats pile on after it. And then Trey Yesavage, if this kid could get us, just get them to the 5th. That's all we need. Keep it close, get it to the 5th. I think we'll be okay when you're going up against the ace of the Yankees. And he puts on the most dominant performance pitching-wise in the history of the Toronto Blue Jays in the postseason. An incredible night. And I like just blown away, right? Like the splitter-slider combo that he has, the splitter to lefties, the slider to righties, fantastic. And now that one to Judge where the splitter is like a screwball, or that gyro thing that we thought Daisuke had, that one that just dove in on him. The kid's incredible. And then the fastball, it has jump, it has life. He's obviously not getting flustered at all. You could see like a lot of big, deep breaths out on the mound, like a lot of, okay. Like my wife was watching the game. It's like, he looks tired after like 20 pitches, but it's just, it's kind of intense. And it's one thing to look like that and be like that, whatever. Didn't seem like it when he was pitching. Anyway, he was excellent. And then just the stare when Grisham calls timeout to try to break his whatever, and he just stays, focus, locked in. Absolutely fantastic. And the thing is, I think he could be better. Like he, look, 5 1/3, no-hit baseball, only walked 1, and it was the MVP of the season. Okay, it's tough to say, hey, can you be better than that? But I thought, like, pitch-wise, location-wise, I kind of thought his location was all over the place. Like, I kind of thought that he was missing his spots by a bit on a few of those, and then was able to get it back in. The one thing I didn't like, and every team does this, right? In the history of baseball, every team does it. You get up 0-2, and you kind of waste a couple to see if the guy will chase it. And while I understand that, I also kind of feel like maybe don't do that with a kid pitching in his first playoff game and his 5th or 4th Major League Baseball game ever. Just keep those going. Keep the pitch count low. But it's still, like, again, who am I to critique? But I still think location-wise, the fastball was a little bit off at times. And I think the Yankees bailed him out quite a bit. Now, obviously, there's a lot of swing and miss and a lot of chase built into the stuff. But I think getting to that made it a little bit difficult at times. So honestly, I think the kid could still pitch better, which is a scary thought if he's able to come back in this series or, God willing, in the American League Championship Series. But just, I thought a perfect decision by the Blue Jays to start him. I know some people thought maybe it was overthinking it, but to now be able to have Bieber in Yankee Stadium, where he's pitched before, where he has been successful before, and have a 2-0 series lead because that kid got to do the home field thing, just excellent. All of it excellent for Toronto. And I didn't hate the idea of pulling him. You know, like it would have been fun to see how far he could go with that. But don't give them too many looks at him. Don't let him leave with his head hanging low or anything like that. Give him that great feeling to go off the mound with. And then just make sure, because it's not like this team was battling all week. You know, this strategy wouldn't have worked for the Yankees because they had the 3 games during the week. But Toronto hadn't played since Sunday. So let these guys who have been sitting for a week, aside from inter-squad games, but let them get into the swing of it. Let them get back into the groove, see what playoff baseball is like. Okay, well, there's a hit. There it goes. Okay, fine, whatever. But don't wear anyone out. You got an off day. That's now today. I thought they managed it really, really, really well. So excellent work from Toronto, making sure everyone gets the jitters out and no one's overly rusty going into play on Sunday. Tuesday. Coming up here with Game 3. Tall John in the Twitch chat. The best of the Blue Jays, not only dominating the Yankees, is that the Buffalo Bills are now officially on the Blue Jays bandwagon as well. That was so much fun to see that. And when I first saw it, I was like, okay, yeah, the MLSE, the partnership thing, whatever. Like, that makes sense. And then all the New York people, like, oh, right. That's a thing. Oh, boy, that sucks. So that was kind of funny to see that. Also, Tall John, 75. It is intense. You have the team and nation on your back and arm. Like, obviously, like that is a type of pressure that no one, you don't know how to handle that until you're out there. He absolutely has the demeanor of someone who would compare that game to a game that he pitched at Eastern Coastal Carolina or wherever he was as a college kid. He's like, oh no, I played in some pretty big games in college. There'll be a few more people here, but that's fine. He has the demeanor. He has everything you need to check all of those boxes and just be that, oh gosh darn kid out there dominating one of the most famous franchises in all of sports. Unbelievable what he was able to do with all of that pressure. But it wasn't just him. The other, there have been team scored 23 runs in 2 games. There have been a number of contributors along the way. And the biggest and most important one is Vlad. We talked about it when I was on the radio. This has to be his time to arrive. He can't be getting picked off at second base in 1-run playoff games. Can't be going 125 in a playoff series. He needs to be the star. And I had said on radio out here that if Judge was the best player in the series, you kind of have to accept that because he is. He's going to win the MVP this year. He is, if we're just doing MLB, the show overall rankings, Judge's is at the top. So you kind of have to accept that. Vlad had to be second and had to be a close second. And right now, Vlad is first and it ain't close. This has been everything you would want from the star player, face of the franchise that you locked in for a really long time at the beginning of the season for a lot of money. This is everything you want. It is the example that he is setting. It's not just like the home runs have been fantastic. And to get the party started in game 1 in the first inning, and then the big grand slam and the bat flip 2.0 and all of that. Perfect. Exactly what you need. But it's the little stuff that makes Vladdy, right? Because he's not going to be 50 home run guy a lot of the time in his career. He's just going to be the consistent do a lot of things guy that is the team lead with this organization. And it's the diving play at first base to get Ryan McMahon in the second inning of that game when the Yankees are starting to threaten a little bit. It's hustling down the first base line to beat down an infield single in the first inning where you have an opportunity to put one of the best pitchers in baseball on the ropes. It's just constantly getting on base, constantly making the right play at the right time, and getting all of that moving. It is something they missed from him at points throughout the season, and it's not missing right now. He has been absolute perfection down to the very last detail. Excellent work from Vlad Guerrero Jr. and the guy's out here earning that contract. I will absolutely tell you that right now. And it's just this whole series. We talked about it a few times this year. The Blue Jays are a bad matchup for the Yankees. All the tough at bats. Max Fried is a pretty good strikeout pitcher, except against Toronto. And the Yankees have some issues defensively. The Blue Jays are going to press that because they put the ball in play a ton. And it's not just that they don't strike out and they put the ball in play. It is also they put the ball in play and they're going first to third any opportunity that they can. And they're going to bunt and they're going to run and they're going to do all those annoying small ball things that look, I'm not a small ball guy. I will tell you that right now. But with this group, it works. And against that team, it works. Now, they haven't small balled their way to 23 runs in 2 games. They're hitting the hell out of it. That's kind of the compliment to everything, is that the Blue Jays have just made their bats out of flubber and are launching the balls out of the ballpark. But it's a really bad matchup for that ball club, for the Yankees, that they have to deal with now. And look, New York hasn't been good. They just absolutely got railroaded by 2 pitchers, really. Like, Gausman was excellent, and then it kind of fell off in that in the last inning there that he pitched, and then Yesavage just blows right through them, right? Like, they have 2 pitchers have absolutely dominated the Yankees in this series. And you've had a couple moments, right? Like, they bounce back to make it 13-7 in the back part of game 2. But, like, Judge is getting hits, but they're not the hits that you need. Stanton's not getting any hits right now. Rice has made some good contact on a couple, but then others really, really not. Like, it's just nothing is really working for this team right now. And then defensively, Judge missing that one in the outfield. You can't do that. The Blue Jays putting pressure on his arm and taking advantage of those situations. All of those things, it's piling up on New York right now. And then the bullpen hasn't been good enough. Warren did a good job of eating a lot of innings, but he also had Vladdy launch one into orbit and gave up a lot of runs as well. Weaver, like, getting that one out feels important for him, but he hasn't been very good. Like, there hasn't been a whole lot that you can hang your hat on for the Yankees, aside from the fact that they were able to get hits off of the 25th and 26th man on the Blue Jays roster. That's it. That's all they've been able to do. And one of the things I had kind of looked at when you're measuring whether the Jays wanted to play the Red Sox or the Yankees in this round, it was one of the things that I kind of thought of was, well, Aaron Judge hasn't really been a playoff guy. And if you look at the numbers, okay, Judge has fixed it. But we kind of had this with Vladdy earlier this year, where, yes, he's getting hits. It's just not at the times that we want them. Like, there was a game, Vladdy went 3 for 5. The Blue Jays lost. And the 2 outs that he had runners in scoring position. And the 3 hits that he did, I think one was a home run, but it wasn't the times that they needed it the most. And that is kind of Judge in this series, where he has got his at his times, but when you need the MVP, when you need the captain to come up with the big hit or the good at bat, or to not chase 3 and 2 in the other batter's box, he hasn't been able to do that. So I don't think you can say that the Yankees have got the most out of Judge. And in playoffs past, they've been able to skate by that because Giancarlo Stanton turns into Babe Ruth this time of year. Well, that's not happening either. He has been so quiet. And now, instead of Rice and Grisham and playoff Volpe being guys who are very good complementary pieces, well, now they kind of have to be the ones that are stepping up, and they're not doing that either. Stanton and Judge not getting the big hits in the middle of this lineup really hinders it. And that would be any lineup in baseball. That's not specific to the Yankees, but it really puts a damper on things for them to not be able to have those guys that they can rely on. So I wonder what the Yankees do now in game 3. The Stanton thing, he got bases loaded and he just had a fastball blown by him. It's not like he is getting just outdueled or anything. He's just getting pitches ripped right past him. And if he's not going to be doing that, you wonder now if the Yankees consider going with Rice at first, or Rice at DH and Goldschmidt at first, or something like that, right? Like you wonder, because they've had some issues with who to play and when in this postseason so far, you wonder if Stanton not being in the lineup maybe makes that a little bit easier, and he comes in as a threatening designated hitter in the 7th, 8th, 9th inning against the Blue Jays relievers. So I would be interested to see what the Yankees do coming up here on Tuesday. There have been a lot of victory laps taken by Blue Jays fans, and look, it's been fun, right? And that guy who was like, oh, didn't realize you win 3 games in the first one. We'll tie it up tomorrow. That one deserved to get dunked on, right? And we all love the David Ortiz, the Yankees lose, and having all the clips after and everything. This has been a fun couple of days for the Blue Jays. The most fun it has been to be a Blue Jays fan in a decade. It's not over yet. And I don't want to be the negative one. People thought I was on that short that I posted on YouTube and TikTok. People were quite upset about it. I have loved this, and I think they can win this, and I think they should win this. I think they could win it tomorrow. But Toronto hasn't been as good in the Bronx this season. And Rodon can be up and down, but that up is really tough to deal with. And if the Yankees get one, then it's a bullpen game against their Trey Yesavage. The Schlittler, I can make that slip up here. Schlittler kind of just like stole the Red Sox lunch money and is kind of unhittable. And you are countering that with a bullpen game on Wednesday. So that doesn't seem overly confidence-inducing. And then, yes, you get to go back to the Rogers Center, but it's not awesome going back to the Rogers Center having just lost back-to-back games. Ask the Yankees what that is like. So the Jays have been dominant. No question. There is zero doubt who the better team has been through 18 innings of this series. But this isn't 5-game total point. New York could win on Tuesday 2-1. And that's the same thing for the series now. And it gets very, very close. So this has been perfect for the Jays so far. But do not mistake that for this being done. Just had to get that out there because I've seen it done. And it scares me when we get too confident sometimes. Although this team certainly deserves the confidence over the next 24 hours or so. Back in the Twitch chat, we have, I think it's Geminus 455 saying hello, saying, yo, I really like the way you play. Not playing anything, but thank you. Appreciate that. Asking about a Discord, probably not going to do that. But Tall John, you have to be on and be right at the right time of year, i.e. playoffs. Look at the Bruins with the record year. They were on all season and then flopped. The Blue Jays are on, the Yankees are not. That 100%, and baseball, you can get that quick, right? Like hitting is so contagious and all of that. Like if you get a pitcher dialed in and you get a couple of guys who are just raking, it's really tough to beat you. And right now the Yankees have nobody who is stepping up in that kind of way. Aside from Schlittler the other day, there's no one on offense who is coming up with those big hits when they need. It's kind of Volpe. And that's kind of it right now. But no one is doing all those things that they need them to do. And the Jays have like 13 dudes who are coming in and doing what they need to do right now. So you're right, Tall John. The Jays playing that playoff baseball and hitting that peaking at the right time note just perfectly. So that is the Blue Jays conversation. Let me know your thoughts. Am I being too scared to not take the victory lap yet? Going into game 3, what are you looking for from the Yankees? What adjustments can be made for the Bronx Bombers? Let me know either in the chat here or in the comments after when we post this live. Also, if you missed any of this or just want to bring Couch Potato Diary with you wherever you go, you can find us in podcast form, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast. Just search Couch Potato Diary.